Hello Steelers, long time no see. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a hobby update for you. That is simply because last weekend was my wife's birthday weekend. So, well, it's her birthday, but it was on a Saturday, so it kind of made it into a birthday weekend. So I just didn't get a chance to update you because we were busy doing things every day pretty much. I'll come back to that because one of the things might be of interest for some of you out there, but most of it wasn't hobby related, I've got to say, but it was still a good weekend anyway. However, since the last hobby update, I have still been quite busy. I've actually been working on a lot of the vehicles that Dave White sent to me that I bought off him for Vietnam. These are the Battlefront M113s and also the Patton M48 tanks as well. The first of these were just the normal M113 armoured troop carriers, so these were just the basic model. All I did was basically add some Nuln oil, a bit of dry brushing, added some stowage and some weathering, and that was pretty much it for those. Really nice though. Used some of the decals from that I bought the other week from Battlefront, and they were really good actually, really good decals. I've had trouble with Battlefront's decals in the past, but these ones were an absolute dream to use. Probably some of the best I've actually ever used, to be honest. There was also in there a 4 recoilless rifled versions M113s. So again, I did those. Same again, basically just added that Nuln oil, bit of a dry brush, added some stowage and other bits and pieces like the tracks and stuff. Very simple jobs on these. And then finally for the M113s, there were 2 Zippos as well, which are the flamethrower versions of them as well. So there's 2 of those, knocked those out. These ones are the resin ones, all the rest were plastic, these were resin, so these are slightly heavier than the other ones. How many was there? 11 vehicles. And then finally the last ones were the M48 Patton tanks as well. 3 of these, so these are nice, and once again these were resin as well, so these are quite heavy vehicles, but they are very lovely, really nice. I really like Battlefront's kits. They're always really good with their vehicles. I really like them. They make nice kits. Let's say that. The other thing that I got painted as well, because it's been a couple of weeks now, was I started work. I wanted to do some more of the epic stuff. I'm slowly chipping away at them. I will eventually do a full video on the actual, the full setup once I've painted them, but it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would do, to be perfectly honest. I thought I might fly through them, but because there's so many figures in a battalion, 80 or so, it does take a long time, even though they're painted as strips. So I have to do them half a battalion at a time, so it's taken a little while to get through them, but I am getting through them. And this time I went and I changed, and I went had a look at the Highlanders, the Scotch Highlanders. These are painted as the 42nd Regiment, the Black Watch, the 1st Battalion of the 42nd Regiment. Just having a look on the St. Jour's website, I got their colours. You'll notice that I didn't paint any details on the tartan. What I've done is with the tartan, instead I've just taken the base, the main colour of the tartan, and then just done that instead, because at 3 foot you will not see any detail on tartan, so there's just no point doing it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, kudos to those that do it, but my god, you must have good eyes. I am actually looking for some magnifying glasses at the moment to help me do some painting, because I've noticed that I'm getting a little bit older. My eyesight is starting to strain a little bit, so I'm just trying to have a look around for some with some lights on and stuff, but that's something in the future. In the post, just after I'd recorded the last hobby update, I actually got in the post these some really useful box storage units from Warbases. Really quick delivery as always with Warbases, fantastic, and really nice designs as well, these ones. There are a number of these out there on the market, but I actually think that the Warbases ones are the best, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'll tell you why now. The reason is because they fit together really well. So you can see there they actually hook together the design, so they don't shake about when they're in the box. You don't need to use them in the really useful boxes. You can just pile them up like this. I've got my some of my Warlord's epic stuff in these ones. At this point you can see here. Because I needed them. I needed the ones at this depth because of the flags on the epic stuff. But what is good about these as well is you've got that slight ridge underneath, which just means that there's ever so slight, almost a millimetre high worth of depth between, because the line of the base of this one doesn't go all the way to the bottom, so you can really pack quite a lot in these. They're really cleverly designed, as with everything from Warbases, so they're worth getting. And once again, like I said, these are very cheap. You get them in different depths. These ones I think are like 42, so you can get 6 of these into a 9-litre really useful box, which is perfect. And as I say, when you're driving around, these are not going to rattle about if you're driving down to the club or wherever. All I need to do now is get myself another really useful box at some point. But like I said, there's 4 of them and I've got 6 in total. So they're great. Check those out, really good. Warbases for the win, as always. Then also as well this week, Jesus over at AK Interactive got in touch with me and asked me if I'd be interested in some of their new Real Colours markers sets. And they sent some out to me. I said, yeah, of course I would. I'd be very interested in those. So thank you, AK, if you are watching at the moment. This is their brand new release. Now, you may have seen on some of my other videos that I've used some of their weathering pencils. I think they're really, really good. They're basically watercolour pencils with weathering colours on them, so rust and concrete streaks and rain streaks and dirt streaks. And they've just released these Real Colours acrylic pens. I haven't actually opened them yet because I haven't had a chance to try them. I'll tell you why in a second. But they sent out these 3 sets. Let's have a look. I'm going to do a proper video on these, but this is just to show you what I've got. So basically, late German AFV camo colours. There's 3 in each of these. We've got olive grun, dunkelgelb, and also rotbrun red brown. So that's going to be perfect for late war German armour. We've also got German tanks interior colours. I mean, obviously for wargamers that's probably not so interesting, but I am also a scale modeler, so these will be very useful for that. And we've got in there, we've got ivory, light grey, and also red brown as well. So another 3 sets of colours there. So that's like the primer red brown. And then finally they've sent me their weathering set as well. And we've got here aluminium, or aluminum if you're American, dark aluminium or dark aluminum, and also chipping colour. Now the chipping colour is the one that I'm particularly excited about because it's going to be quite a lot easier, I think, using a pen to do some chipping than it is to use a paintbrush or even the ripped sponge method. I mean, I've used both of those methods in the past anyway, and I like ripped sponge, but I kind of want to see how this works. So I said I'm going to do a video for them because they've sent me these for free, and I will. I've also asked Paul over at Sabotage if there was any late war German tanks that he could print for me, and he sent me a list of stuff that he's got, and I went for the Jagdpanzer 4s because I don't actually have any of those, surprisingly. So he printed some of those off. I'm currently waiting for them while I record this, so they haven't arrived yet, but I'm going to do a proper video and a look at these as a review as well. I think these will be very useful for people, and I'm very much looking forward to using them in the real world almost, and just seeing how they go on tanks. So that's something to come. And say once again, thank you very much to AK for getting in touch and for reaching out and for sending those over as well. Hopefully they will be a lovely set of things to work with. I mentioned that, yes, last weekend was my wife's birthday, so we were doing things. One of the things we did, which may be of interest to you, is we partook in an escape room. I've never done one before. I booked it literally like the week before. There was one in Sheffield. There's quite a few out there. There's loads of them, loads of different ones. But it was brilliant. I cannot tell you how much fun we had. It was only for an hour, but it seemed like it was 5 minutes because we were just working our way through. For those that don't know, and I'm sure most people watching this probably are aware, an escape room is basically, it's a setup where you go into a room, you have to solve a series of puzzles to get yourself out, and you have basically different scenarios. In ours, it was the scene of a murder. I think they also did a space one and also a Game of Thrones themed one, but I thought the murder one would be more appropriate for my wife because she's interested in detecting novels, not because she wants to murder me or anything, but well, she might do, but she keeps that quiet. But we basically did this one, and you basically get a set of clues So like for example, one part of it would lead you to a code, which you then have to work out which of the padlocks in the room it opens. There was a DNA sequence where we had to work out numbers from that. Then we also had to look at a hexagon map, and there was clues all over the room, so we had to look around through the rooms. And we, as I say, it was an hour, and we were literally on the last clue, and we were about to punch it into the door when our hour ended, and we failed it. But we had so much fun that it didn't matter that we failed it. But we were gutted. There was a couple of things that held us up. I think if we'd not taken as long to sort a couple of things out, we probably would have done it. Had we had another 5 minutes, we'd have finished that. We'd have smashed it. But we still had a brilliant time anyway, and really enjoyed it. We were talking about it afterwards, and there were two of us that played it. We'd seen just before we went in, there was a group of about 6 people who went in and played it, and they did it pretty quick, or at least one of them I think it was the same one as us. They did it pretty quick, but there were 6 people looking for the clues and doing all the bits and pieces. But we wondered how much that would actually slow you down, because there's lots of different voices then, and we thought maybe 3 or 4 people is probably the best you could probably do one of those with, because then you've got enough people to spread around the room itself to check out all the different things, and you've also got enough different voices to bring in different ideas for the clues and things without overcrowding everybody, because 6 people talking at once, you just can't hear a thing. But yeah, it was brilliant. If you do get a chance to go and check one out, I would definitely guarantee you'll have fun doing it. It's one of those things though, I think it's a bit of a one shot. Once you've done it, you kind of know what the different clues are, so it's you'd be able to do it very quick if you wanted to go back. But first time we did it was great, and we have said we were going to go back and do some more, not only at that place but other ones around as well when we can find them and when we can find time. Alright, that's it for this week. I'll keep you updated with what happens next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to be painting. Well, I have got a couple of birthdays coming up in the next couple of weeks. Not only is it my mum's, but it's also mine as well the following week. So there may not be a hobby update for a little while, because both of those weekends are going to be quite busy, I think. So don't expect anything for the next couple of weeks. I do have some videos coming out. There's a box opening for the Prussian box set for Waterloo. There's also an old group game coming at some point as well. I'm going to be spending some time this weekend recording another game as well, this time with Dean, so it's going to be a mano-a-mano match. So these things are all coming to come out at some point in the future, so just keep an eye on the channel and you'll see them, and I will try and update you as soon as I can. As I say, don't expect anything next week or perhaps the week after, but I will soon be back, and I will soon be back with some stuff. If you are thinking of buying anything through Warlord Games, please do use their affiliate link. It is down in the description down below. It gives me a percentage of any sales that they make, and that's all go back into helping the channel out. Also, please do subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you in the next Storm and Steel video.